Hello everyone and welcome to the A&M Network. Today we're going over some pre-draft news and a couple of little trades have happened here and there. Now this morning I did put out a video for the Mike Conley trade, but there is a little bit more that's happened, but nothing that needs its own video. All of it will be in this, and there's a bunch of other little things too. Just news that's going around the association. So, start off with Kyrie Irving. So there's been multiple reports today. Some saying he's going to be going to Brooklyn 100%. Some saying that Brooklyn still don't know what they're doing with him. From what I can tell, honestly, it looks like it's still going to be Brooklyn 100% for Kyrie. So we'll find that out, obviously, in, 10 days? 10 days, 11 days, we'll find that out. So not long till we get the official word, obviously, on that. But bit of a weird one, honestly. There's been a lot of conflicting reports. To me, it looks like it's still going to be a Kyrie Irving to Brooklyn. Does he bring a friend? Who knows? But we'll see what happens there. In other news like that, CP3 and the Rockets in general, supposedly CP3 wants to be traded. Supposedly he's unhappy, but then he himself on an Instagram post that had that news said, "Oh, this is news to me." So he's denying it, and so was Morey, the GM of the Rockets. However, there have been reports even a couple of weeks ago that said that everyone was available other than James Harden for trade. So, not sure what is going on in Houston. Generally, you go by the old saying of where there's smoke, there's fire. So, I personally believe that CP3 maybe would be unhappy. These reports generally aren't so unfounded that nothing ever happens, and you've got a couple of different reports saying people are able to be traded and he's unhappy. I just feel like it could be true. Because there's so much of it, I just feel like it's true. Now, nothing could come from it. It could go to next season. Now, personally, I think they need to keep together and make sure if they can get a nice couple of bench guys on that team, dude, they're going to be very big contenders for next year's title. So if I was them, I'd be doing everything I can to make sure they're happy, because I'd be pulling them together. Next year, they can definitely win it. Yes, there's LeBron and AD, but I still don't think that's going to be good enough in its first season when you've got a team that could be really good, and have been really good for a long time. So, but that's an interesting one. Just wanted to briefly go over that. I think he's unhappy. Like I said, smoke is fire, man. I think he's happy. So don't be surprised. However, I should say before we move on to the next topic, he may be unhappy and they may be looking for a trade. Supposedly there is no team in the league that is looking to take on that contract. If you don't know, CP3 still has 3 years and $120 million left, or around that number, on his contract. And at his age, with his injury history, no team really wants it, so it could be interesting. I mean, I can see if there's going to be a trade. I think it's going to happen after the free agency period, once teams have, not signed the players they want to sign. They still have plenty of money in their cap space. That's when you could see a trade happening, but don't expect that to happen between now and the start of free agency. I can't see that happening. It's just too much money for another team to absorb for there to be anything. Though maybe even a team like Memphis could do it, and they're not paying anyone big money. Possible, right? They're paying Chandler Parsons big money. That's what they do. They could trade Chandler Parsons to the Rockets. Got it. It's not going to happen. That's stupid. Anyway, in other trade news, or in other leaving teams news, there's two more things. So first one we'll get over is Al Horford supposedly cannot come to contract negotiations with the Celtics over what he wants for his extension. While I guess he's opting out of his play option, but then he wanted a new contract with them. So most likely now he's going to be leaving the Celtics. So I don't know what happened in those negotiations, because one day before that happened, it was 100% he's going to sign a contract and stay for 4 more years. And now he's gone, and teams like the Lakers, Clippers, and the Mavericks are favorites to sign him, which is very interesting. I mean, he could be a very good player. He's a great player. He'd be great in any team. So if any of those 3 teams get him, it would be an incredible get. So it would be interesting to see where he goes and how much money he gets. He could be, he's not a max player, so could be an interesting player to sign for someone. The Lakers could use him a lot with their new super team. But that's a nice and quick one. Another one we've got here is OKC are looking to shop Steven Adams, Roberson, Schroeder, and the 21st pick. So we don't know, not all of them, but they were looking to shed some of it, to shed some salaries and some tax. Very interesting. Now, Roberson did not play last season. He is an excellent defender, but a terrible shot. He would be a great person to have next to anyone really, just a good two guard to have defending the best player in the other team. So I like him in a lot of teams. If you've got a lot of scoring around him, he's a really good player to have. Schroeder as well played an excellent last year off the bench. He could get another really good six-man role somewhere that could fill a lot of teams' needs. And the 21st pick, I'm sure that shot ball. And Steven Adams, he's just a very solid center. So big contract though, which is the biggest problem. But if a team's got a little bit of space and not in a rush, I think that's a really good thing to grab off them if they can get him for really cheap. So I can see some of those things happening. I don't know what they would move. I could see a Schroeder or a Roberson going. I don't know if it's Roberson or Robertson, by the way. I always hear it differently. I can see those guys getting traded before Adams, especially because they're in some much smaller contracts. But who knows? It's a bit of a weird one from OKC. Again, it's a wide open West next year. I know there's a lot of money in their repeater tax, but they got a chance to win a title right now. And I mean, this is the first year in 3 years. We can say this about a lot of teams. They've got a chance to, like the Rockets, they've got a chance to win a title. They need to bring back their core and add a couple of players or upgrade a couple of positions if they can. Maybe trade a Roberson for an upgraded two guard that can shoot, or someone else in that role, because they are team chemistry away from going to the far in the playoffs. See, that actually, sorry, just thinking about it, a sign and trade between OKC and the Celtics for Al Horford, wouldn't that sort out everyone's deals? Be pretty good for both. Get a Dennis Schroeder and a Steven Adams. Send them with the 21st pick to Celtics for Al Horford. I wouldn't say no, but then I'm not a GM. So, but that would be an interesting trade idea. Not going to happen, but hey, interesting trade idea. So let me guys know. Let me guys know. That is amazing wordage from me. Let me know, guys, what you think about all of these different things, especially the CP3 one and the OKC one in terms of what they're looking to maybe get off their books, which I find very interesting. So let me know what you guys think. I'll be interested to see your comments on that. And especially we'll definitely making videos and give you updates on what happens on those situations. So in not trade news and not player news, but it is got players, Space Jam 2 has had some of its cast announced. So we have Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson. And a couple of WNBA players as well, which is good they're having the WNBA involved with this. And supposedly more will be involved too, so there'll be more NBA players in it as well. I love the Space Jam one. Listen, it came out in 95, 96. I was like 4 or 5 years old. It was great. I loved it. I've always loved it. It had Bugs Bunny in it. How can I not love it as a kid? So, really cool. I can't wait for Space Jam 2. Can't wait to see these guys in it. Klay, I feel like, could be the greatest part of the movie. Let's be honest, it's Klay, the Forever Stoner. I think it'll be amazing. So, yeah, it'll be cool to see what that looks like. But that's just something small. Thought I'd throw it in there. Now back to trading news, which is pretty cool. They have 2 confirmed trades. Before we get to that, I'll just quickly, this is nothing, really small. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist did opt in to his player option for next year. I think it's like $13 million. Yeah, it's not even news really. He's not getting more money elsewhere, so fair enough. He'll probably be in a minimum, unfortunately, after that. Maybe he'll get a little bit more. He's not a great player. He's not a good player. He's just there. Does his job, I guess. Anyway, let me know, by the way, if you think he's better than I think he is. I really don't rate him at all, but maybe someone else there does. There were 2 trades though. You got the Miami Heat have traded a future conditioned second round pick and $1.88 million in cash for the 44th pick to Atlanta. Sorry, Atlanta's 44th pick in this year's draft. So in tomorrow's draft for me, or today for people in other places. Interesting one. So they must like someone around there. So hence why they're buying it. So one for nearly $2 million. So just a simple one, they're just buying a pick. So one pick has gone to Miami Heat, and that is pick number 44. The other trade we have is Milwaukee has traded Tony Snell and the 30th pick in this year's draft to Detroit for John Lua. I believe this trade has made space for Milwaukee getting off Tony Snell's contract in order to re-sign people like Brook Lopez, Malcolm Brogdon, and Chris Middleton. So big trade for them, purely just a salary dump, and obviously including that first round pick. Yes, 30th pick, but a first round pick in there for Detroit. So it's quite nice for Detroit. They get an extra wing player and they get a 30th pick. Milwaukee get to spend more money on their really good players they want to re-sign. So I think that's a win-win for both teams. But let me know what you think. Are you a Milwaukee fan? Did you love Tony Snell? Are you sad to see him go? Let me know. I think he's always been a decent player, especially when he was on the Bulls. It was great then. Was he great then? Maybe not. Yeah, I just remember him a lot more. Anyway, that's basically all of the news I have here today. 10 minutes of news, or actually 12 minutes of news, I should say. But let me know if you have anything that you guys want to know about the NBA, or anything you guys are thinking about this current thing. Tomorrow's the draft. We have Zion Williamson coming into the league. How's he going to go? What are your predictions? I'll do another video tomorrow with all of the trades and updates from the draft. Unfortunately, I tried to work from home and I can't. So I'll be doing these videos about this time tomorrow. You'll see an updated video from everything from the NBA draft. But until then, guys, my name's Andrew. Take care.